next speaker is what's the name? Dr. Gamaralalage, if I'm right. So apologies for that. Just a brief introduction. Dr. Premakumara is a development planner specializing in participatory environmental planning and sustainable urban development. He earned his PhD in management development from Nihon Fukushi University, Japan in 2006 and has over 30 years of experience working with academic, governmental, and international agencies. After a postdoctoral fellowship at Mayo University, he joined the IG's Kitayushu Urban Center in 2010. I'm focusing on sustainable and low carbon city initiatives. Currently, as principal researcher and director of the IG Center, collaborating with UNEP on environmental technologies, he provides technical support to developing countries on waste and resource management. His work emphasizes integrated waste management strategies, promoting the 3 Rs, reduce, reuse, and recycle, and fostering circular economies. He actively engages with academic societies and contributes to policy journals, addressing the links between waste, climate change, and sustainable development goals. So we are very happy to have you here, Dr. Premakumara, and please, the floor is yours.
Yes, thank you very much. Very nice introduction. So it's my great honor to join this Fifth World Sustainability Conference and share some of our experience based on the ongoing and previous research work. Today, I would like to discuss a little bit about biowaste recycling for local revitalization, because I'm not only looking at it as a waste management, but I will see it as the holistic approach to revitalizing the local rural communities in Japan. So we had involved in this project for a long time, so and get some lessons learned I can share with you today. So my content is I will briefly give introduction why we need creating sustainable society. I think this is something the theme of this forum. And then I will looking at the role of biowaste utilization in Japan's circular economy perspectives, and especially focus on the case study Oki Town in Japan. It's a little bit smaller city where we have doing our pilot studies and pilot actions, and then share with some key outcomes and benefits and lesson learned. So what we need the urgency of creating sustainable society. So I don't want to give more details because we all know that it is very important to address this triple planetary crisis, what UNEP is mentioning, climate change, biodiversity loss, pollution, waste, and chemicals. So we are using more resources than what we need to use. So it's make everywhere. So we have a lot of issues. So we are looking at different models of sustainable society. So I would like to use what Japan is these days is discussing this transformation. So they are looking at their environmental policies. So in more harmonized way of these three crises, especially in the low carbon climate change issues. So they are promoting low carbon society. And to address the biodiversity losses, so they're promoting the society in harmony with the nature. And also for pollution, waste, and chemicals, so they more work on the sound material cycle society. So using these synergies between these three policy directions, so the national environmental policies is trying to create more sustainable society in Japan. But when we're looking at and the historically Japanese situation, so you can see in this before the industrialization, so Japan is very much followed resource circulation practices, rooted in their cultural and values and traditions. So this is the system that we call Edo period. It is before the industrialization. So you can see like how the city is linking with their waste and sludge and waste. So then it's go to the rural farmers and the farm produce materials, and it's come to the urban areas. So it's a harmonization between the within the local circular systems. But this traditional resource circulation is central this time to my presentation, because now again these smaller cities and the urban cities in Japan is trying to create this model with some technology innovations. So what's happened in after the period? So Japan is fast in after the Second World War and rapid growth with industrialization. So you can see, especially in the left side, so the increase the income and also the increase the waste generation. So Japan has very fast 1950s to industrialization. So it's create more income and more waste in the society. So when it's come to 1980s, they come to peak, and most of the waste is dumped in the landfill site, very similar to the current developing countries we can see in most countries. So because of that, so they in especially in 2000 year of 2000, so the Japan policies has basically changed. In the right side we call more on the sustainable societies and the sound material cycle societies. So they want to move from this waste management to more circular local circular systems and sustainable societies. So in this transformation, so one of the main pillars or supportive thing is biomass city development in Japan. So it's recognized the potential of biomass in the several policies, and the lot of cities started in creating the local circular uh, biomass, bio-waste circular systems, and using them as rural and the local revitalizations projects. So there were, as you can see, there were many examples is coming up. So today I would like to select one of them where we have much work on our field work. So Oki town in the mostly down part of the Japan. So let's very briefly, let's take a close look at the Oki town. It's a small but very important city in the southern part of the Japan. And it is more than 13,000 populations and very agriculture-based society. But as many other Japanese cities, they started the problem with the population decline, and also the young people moving from town to cities, and also the income for the managing waste is also the issues. So considering these issues, so they started creating the local systems in planning the local communities to start the discussions on how the societies can be re-motivated to take some action. So one major steps was creating the zero waste society declaration. So it gave them the community to come together and discuss the issues related to, it's not only waste management issues, the issues in the city, and especially this climate change, biodiversity, and waste management issues in the city, and look at how the city can move forward in creating a new approach to handling the city service explanation. So in that case, so it's came up with the zero waste city declaration. So especially three things they started to reduce waste and also stop incineration or landfills and improving the social harmonization. And then what's happened? So to implement this zero waste society or zero waste declaration, so they created two major infrastructure. I think this is very important. One is social infrastructure, we call social system, and another one is technology infrastructure, so technology system. So social systems, so they started working with the people to change their waste management practices and ask community to separate waste into different types. And one is the organic waste. And it is started from 5 categories. Now they are separated in 21 categories. And then the most of the separated materials, they go to the recycling facilities. So for the organic waste and food waste, so it is going to the bio waste facility. So for that, they also created the biowaste structure, the social structure. So that is very important. But as I mentioned in the previous slide, before the industrializations, they'll create local systems. So the waste is coming, both the solid and the liquid waste, bio waste is coming to the facility. So where they do recycling, and then this liquid fertilizers, so they use for the agriculture farms, and the farms products they use for the local use, especially school and community users. And again, that waste is coming. It's creating like a local economic and the local social systems. And for that, so they also created the infrastructure of this facility. So the collected waste, how to collect this waste. So they created new waste collection system, and then the facility was stabilized to treat them properly. And this infrastructure system is very important to function the social system. So what we learn from these things, you can see that it is important for them to benefit. So we see after introduction of the projects, there were benefit for climate and economic and social benefits. So the waste going to the incinerator was reduced more than 80%, and then now they not use anymore incinerator. So they use most of these bio waste for the agriculture purposes. And also we found it is reduced for their city cost for this waste management, and it is now using for the social services and economic support for the small and medium enterprises in the city. So that's bring more farmers and more business to the city. And also it is help them to reduce greenhouse gas from this methane reduction. So some studies also done from the scientifically look at how this each before the system and after the systems. So how much this economic and the climate benefit is happened. So you can find this result. So we found in the before the project, so huge amount of cost is they use for waste collection and transport to the incinerator, and big tipping paying for the incinerator management. But after the introduction of this system, so the facility and then use the crops, so it makes more income for the community and the city to handle, and also the climate change benefit also the same. So what we learned, this kind of community systems to work in the city. So this need three major areas. So community engagement, it's very important. It's look like active participation in the planning and implementing the activities, and the awareness and the ownership of these local initiatives. And also we found the social systems can be worked if they have good physical systems. So infrastructure is very important. So in this case, the city has established this biomass facility and also the proper waste collection systems, and also after the bio waste treatment, so there's the liquid fertilizer is properly transported to the farmers. And also we found it is very important, the government support. This is part of the national policy and regulations and the funding and the research and partnership. So as you can see, so the government is starting a lot of national policies. So this is very important for these local cities to started such kind of activities. So this is the most important part of the work. So in conclusion, so what we see is this biomass utilization approach in it's a good model for local revitalization. It can address in the climate change and also economic and social benefit for the cities for sustainable development. Through such activities can be happen with the policies that support circularity and community engagement in line with the local circular systems. So from that on, so I will stop. So if you need any more information, so I think you can come to our website. So most of these publications are available there. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much, Dr. Premakumara, for the insightful presentation. So let me see if we have questions. So just for the audience, if you have any question, you can always drop it in Q&A. Then the presenter will go through it after the session and answer them accordingly. So but for the sake of time, I have one question, and I do know that one of the challenges that is being faced with circular economy, it's community engagement. And from what you presented right now, you presented that, okay, this was performed in a local environment and try to see how urbanization also affects waste generation in that area. So it's very interesting to see that the community were actively engaged. I was wondering how you were able to, how that was achieved. Were there kind of incentives for them to participate, or is it just pure awareness on the benefit of of this circular economy to them? I don't know if you can speak to that.
Yeah, I think this is a very good question because when we're looking at this participation for the environmental activities, Japan have a very good history in the because after, as I mentioned, so after the industrializations, so there were a lot of pollutions has came, especially they give more industrialized cities, so mining and also coal, all these created the cities are very environmental pollution. So the citizens movement came very much strong and together, especially to negotiate with the cities to improve their activities and the policies. But what we see in the after the country is getting better and they started more cleaner and more instant like a happened. So this kind of a movement is mostly going slow because it is what, as you mentioned. So people are always join if they have something to join. After that, it is not happen. But when we see this again in this the Japanese society, because there are a lot of people population is in the other way. The developing countries, because developing countries population increase, but Japanese society is now population is decreased. So and the young population is less, so the elderly population is getting high. So again, they feel there is the importance of this social system, so working together and meeting together. So that's may create more important for the Japanese. So in that, when we start in this negotiation, that there were a lot of community meetings, and then the people came to work on these things, and then they understand this is importance of these activities. So then, but it is very clear what is the role of the community. So they need to separate waste at home. So that's their role, and the role of the city office. What is the role of the private sector? So I think this is very important understand each partner's role in the discussions. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Premakumara. So please just kind of monitor the Q&A. If there are other questions, you can always respond to that. So thank you very much.